Assalamu alaikum, family. It's your brother King Cam. Welcome back to the Campaign TV Show. Now, this is the podcast edition, so I want to welcome everybody who's checking in tonight. And what we're going to be discussing, family, is good guidance in the time of darkness. Good guidance in the time of darkness. So, I just want to welcome everybody to the Campaign TV Show. I am your host, Brother King Cam. I got Instagram Live going, so we want to welcome everybody over from Instagram, family. Thank you for tuning in. Good guidance in the time of darkness. So, if those of us have not been paying attention, these are some of the craziest times to be living in. Some of the wildest times to be living in. Future said, what a time to be alive. So it's a great day. It's a great day for some of us, and it's a dreadful day for others in this time. There's a lot of stuff going on, family. We got this COVID-19 that has successfully shut down the economy in the United States of America. You know, it's something that's real. It's not a conspiracy theory. It's not a made-up virus or disease. It's really taking lives. So one of the things that I want to say right off the bat is that we should be practicing social distancing. We should be wearing the protective gear that we all have been asked to wear by healthcare professionals, which is your masks, your gloves. You know, if you're out somewhere, you need gloves, but especially a mask. Do not go out in public without your mask unless you just don't have one. But if you can, wear a mask out in public. You know, let's respect the social distancing, the social gathering rules, because it's a lot of information out there, but none of us really know what is actually the truth, because there are actually conflicting reports on actually how much social distancing. Some people say 6 feet. MIT said 27 feet. You understand? You got another study that said 13 feet. So we're really not exactly sure on how far our social distancing should be. So the PPE, or the personal protective equipment, is so important so that we don't continue to possibly pass along this COVID-19 virus. But as I mentioned and stated in other videos that I did before, the best defense, other than following the rules and wearing your PPE gear, is for you to have a boosted and healthy immune system. We have already been told that the COVID-19 is at its strength when it attacks or is contracted by somebody who has pre-existing conditions and already has a weakened immune system. So if you have a strong immune system, that will allow you to be able to combat this COVID-19. So that's the number one thing that you can do, along with adhering to the laws of the land as well as wearing your PPE gear. But there's so much stuff that's been going on. I recently did a video today where Boosie was talking about how all the rappers and the entertainers had actually been affected financially by the COVID-19. And I mean, because they're not able to go and do shows right now, it's affected their pockets heavily. Because if you're an independent artist, I'm about to give you some game. If you're an independent artist, all of your money is coming off shows. Majority of your money is coming off shows. And if you understand social media, then you're able to monetize your social media. Boosie understands social media, so he has been able to monetize his social media. If you see me looking over here, it's because I'm looking at the other camera. But he's able to monetize on his social media, which allows him to have multiple streams of income coming in. See, in the video, in the interview he did with Vlad, he mentioned he got the rap snacks, the chips, he got the noodles, like Master P. He got a clothing line, liquor, you understand? Cologne. These are different products that Boosie have that allow him to bring in many streams of income. So for upcoming artists, entertainers, influencers, whatever lane of entrepreneurship that you're in, you should always have a product attached to whatever it is that you're doing. You should have some type of product, whether it's a book, whether it's clothing line, whether it's any type of product that you can sell to your audience. Once you have branded yourself and you have gained trust from your audience, you should have you a product to be able to sell. And once you get successful selling one product, then you can develop another product. But all of this is part of your brand, your brand awareness. And as you increase the brand awareness, then you're able to develop products and be able to monetize on social media. But these things are important because we are moving in an age that's going to be digital. Everything is going digital. So if you're not hit with the internet right now, then you need to get there. If you're not understanding what digital currency is looking like, Bitcoin and other digital currency, because Bitcoin isn't the only one, so you got other types of digital currency out here, making money online, making money on your laptop, being able to create an online business for yourself that can make money. That is the new world order. That is the new government that's coming into place. That's the new business. Black tech is so important. So if we're not understanding these things, if we're not reading up on these things, if we're not educating ourselves on these things, we're going to be left in the past. You know how many businesses suffer by not utilizing social media marketing and understanding the power and the impact of Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, YouTube. All of these different social media platforms have effectively become the new TV stations. Nobody watches CBS or NBC or ABC anymore for the most part. Nobody watches that except for old white people. Majority of people are on the internet. You want to watch a lecture or you want to watch some type of long piece of content, you going on YouTube. You watching a documentary on YouTube or any of the streaming services, Hulu, Netflix, something like that. But on the internet, it's YouTube. You understand me? You looking for other type of family-oriented content, some educational content, you can find that on Facebook. See? If you are looking for pictures, short clips of videos, scrolling, looking at stories and things like that, then you're going to be on Instagram. If you like short pieces of content, you're going to be on TikTok. You like to be entertained and things of that nature, you're going to be on TikTok. So this is the mindset. I'm giving y'all a free game right now. This is the mindset of the people that's on these different platforms. So it will behoove you as a business person to want to make yourself known on any of these platforms to start engaging with the community. It's a whole science behind this thing. And this is the way the world is moving as far as business is concerned and entrepreneurs. So we need to go ahead and get in the game. I mentioned something on Twitter before a couple of days ago where I said this is the year of the hustlers. 2020 is the year of the hustlers. Which means what? We have to start now. We have to be able to adjust. Hustlers able to adjust to whatever climate they're in. They're able to adjust and adapt. You understand me? So whether they was hustling in the South and they moved to the North, they got to adjust to how things moving up there. They moved to the West Coast, they got to adjust on how things move out there. But as a hustler, you constantly adapting, you constantly adjusting to the circumstances around you. So in 2020, with the COVID-19 epidemic hitting, shutting down physical business, hand-to-hand business, now you got to be able to adjust and move into that online game. So if you are not familiar with the online game, what you got to do is familiarize yourself with the online game. You got to get with somebody that's doing the online game. You got to invest in courses so you can learn how to do this thing online. So the government has been giving away free money. Donald Trump gave away stimulus checks. If you are labeled essential workers and certain jobs are giving certain type of benefits away to employees, you're getting a raise, you're getting, perks on childcare, you're getting extra pay here and there. Certain companies have disaster relief funds where they're giving away grants and things of that nature. So it's money out here to be had. Get you some money and invest in what the new business model is looking like, which is straight digital. Straight digital, family. So that's just some game I want to give to us because many people are either not working and don't know if they're going to be going back to work, or you have people that have been laid off or their job has completely fired them and they got to let them go, rather not fire them, but let them go because there was no more demand. They got to go file unemployment and they trying to figure out how they going to make some money. This is literally up and down Facebook. This is on my timeline. Like, how am I going to make some extra money? Because even though I may still be working, I'm not working the same amount of hours. The unemployment is not covering all my bills, so I need to figure out how I'm going to make some more money. So this laptop game, this digital money, this digital game is the way. It's the new wave. And I'm going to put y'all onto something because there's something called digital real estate. There's a course out here called digital real estate. My brother Ben X teaches a course called digital real estate. And it's the exact same concept of physical real estate without the overhead. I'm going to say that again. My brother Ben X, you can follow him on Facebook, Instagram, any social media platform, teaches a course called digital real estate. Same concept as physical real estate minus the overhead. You have no startup costs or very, very low startup costs to get you some digital real estate. And it's the same concept as physical real estate minus the overhead costs. So I'm just giving you some jewels, some nuggets, some game that you can use and apply. And let's get the creative juices flowing. Because what's going to happen is you're going to be able to separate the weak from the strong in 2020, because it's really forcing you to have to adapt and to move and to be able to readjust to the new climate, because the COVID-19 is nothing to play with. But while we're talking about COVID-19, many of us need to make sure that we tapped in to good guidance in this dark hour. Good guidance in this dark hour. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan said the best thing we can have in a time of chaos and darkness is good guidance. So this is that time. And as you see, the government and the heads of leadership are very unaware and very confused about what's going on with this COVID-19. Very confused about how and which way to lead the nation. Very confused. So when the heads of state are confused, then that is a show that Satan in himself is divided in the house. When you have the president going against medical advice, when you have business typhoons such as Bill Gates giving his 2 cents on medical affairs and the health of the people, and he's at odds with the president, he's at odds with Robert Kennedy Jr., he's at odds with all of these different people, what you're seeing is Satan cast out Satan. So in scripture, when Satan casts out Satan, then how will he be able to stand? So what that is saying in 2020 is, how will the United States government be able to form together as one and be able to move forward, to push the country forward, when the leadership can no longer agree? When the leadership is at odds with one another. Not to mention those names that I just said, but also you got Joe Biden over here in the cut with the Democrats still plotting on this election in November against Donald Trump. So you have Joe Biden, Hillary Clinton now endorsing Joe Biden. Barack Obama a week ago endorsed Joe Biden. You understand me? Against Donald Trump. So you have all of these different elements at play right now, and you really don't know what side to be on or where you should be getting your information from. But I'm going to tell you today, I'm going to tell you right now that your best bet for your information and for your guidance is the Nation of Islam and the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, who is God's man in our midst today. You should also be tapped into all of your black media sources that give you unadulterated truth. I had to put that part in there about give you unadulterated truth, because not all these black media sites and sources give you unadulterated truth. So you have to do your own background search and vet these media resources to find out who's doing that. But those that are doing that, one I know for sure is the Final Call newspaper. So you can DM me if you are interested in becoming a digital subscriber to the Final Call newspaper. I'm going to say that again. You can DM me on Instagram, on Facebook, if you are interested in becoming a digital subscriber to the Final Call newspaper. Because that paper is one thing you want to stay tapped into moving forward. In 2020, we can't continue to bypass black media. We can't continue to bypass tried and true media sources that give our people the information that's necessary and relevant and that is in our best interest in the black community. 2020, we can't continue that behavior. So I'm telling you now, let's go ahead and get that digital subscription. When the physical subscriptions get back in play, make sure you support it. Any black podcast, any black YouTube show, any black media source that's allowing you to get unfiltered truth about what's going on in your community, what's going on with our people, health and wealth, black tech, we need to support it. We need to support it. We cannot continue to move with the same mindset that we had before because we don't have the same excuses that we had before. We don't have the same impediments that we had before. See, most of the time on our way to this point, it was made a point of reference that the Caucasian was the reason we was in the condition that we in. And I agree, the Caucasian is a big reason why we are in the condition that we are in. But in 2020, with all the technology that we have, up until this point, all the teaching that we have gotten, all of the black leaders that we've had, whether it's been Marcus Garvey, Noble Drew Ali, the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, Malcolm X, Angela Davis, Rosa Parks, the list goes on, Assata Shakur, the list goes on of all the leaders that we have had and great activists that we have had that have taught and fought on the battlefield for our freedom of our minds and the freedom of our bodies physically. All the teaching that we have now, you don't have to have nobody come before you and lead the way for you in that manner. You got enough knowledge that you can go ahead and implement something that they have taught you today. I'm going to say that again. You can implement something that they taught you today in your own life, in your own house, in your own community. You ain't got to wait on the minister to do nothing. He done taught you everything that you need to know. You don't need to wait on the Black Panther Party to do nothing for you. They done taught you things that you need to know. You don't have to wait on the NAACP or any of these other black organizations to do anything for you because they've given you the tools that you need for you to be able to implement it in your life. But the thing is, we are looking for somebody to blame. We're looking for somebody that we can say, when the thing don't go the way it's supposed to go, we can point the finger. Because we don't want to point the finger at self. So we don't want to take the responsibility and the accountability for the progression of our people, for the progression of ourselves, for the progression of our communities. So we look for a leader to come, so when the thing doesn't go the way we expect it to go, then we can blame it on the leader. But this is 2020. We're not doing that now. Now, is that guidance that we should hear from a leader? Yes, absolutely. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan is the only one qualified to give guidance in this time. See, the problem dealing with Black America is not just a problem that deals with the X's and the O's. It's not just a problem that deals with economic or social equality or health and wealth in the community, just X's and O's. But this is a problem that deals with the divine solution that's needed to fix a divinely created problem. See, the God fixed this problem for us so that he can come and show his wisdom, his power, his majesty to make it right again. So there has to be God's man to give God's plan to help fix the problem that the God put in place. That's how it has to go. This is a divinely orchestrated situation that you're looking at, black man and black woman in America. So when you have that divineness in the equation, then you need a divine man whose mind is matched with the mind of God himself. See, Jesus said, let this mind be in you. Excuse me, Paul said, let this mind be in you, the same that was in Christ Jesus. Well, Christ Jesus said that he could do nothing of himself, but everything with the Father. So if his mind is lined up with the mind of the Father, which is God, there has to be a man in our midst today that his mind is lined up with the Father that could divinely guide us out of this dark hour that we in today. Y'all follow what I'm saying? Because we done had all the businessmen come through and give their X's and O's plan. Didn't work. We done had all the health and wealth professionals come through, lay their plan out for Black America. Didn't work. We done had all of the people with degrees. We done had all the social economists. We done had all of the social workers, and all of these different people come through and lay their plan for how Black America should be able to restore itself and things of that nature. But up until this point, we have not been able to make a continued progression forward. Why? Because we don't have the divinely guided man at the forefront. We want to push him to the side and say this business expert can take us on through. This medical expert can take us on through. This athlete can take us on through. This entertainer can take us on through. No, it's not going to happen that way, Jack. See, in the scripture, before God was to destroy a nation of people, Abraham asked the God, said, would you destroy the righteous with the wicked? God said, go back and find me 50. If you can find me 50, I'll spare the city. Abraham went back, he couldn't find 50. Came back to the God, God said, give me 40, I'll spare the city. Abraham went back, he couldn't find 40. God said, give me 30. Abraham couldn't find 30. He said, give me 20. Abraham said, couldn't find 20. He said, give me one. If you can find me one righteous person in the city, I will spare them my judgment. Abraham could not find one. But Black people in America today remind me of Abraham because they think that they know more than God. We think that we have a more qualified solution than God and his appointed messenger in our midst today, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. And as you can see, we've been doing that because the minister has been among us for 40 plus years, 60 plus years teaching. He's been among us for 60 plus years, 40 plus years, heavily in the work of rebuilding the nation of Islam. And we have not allowed his guidance to take the forefront. So we see the consequences of Black America today when we have done that. So now we got to really look back at our situation and say, okay, what are we going to do different moving forward, family? Because the United States government, they don't have the answer. The conscious community, they don't have the answer. None of these so-called other leaders out here have any answer because they don't have no work to prove that what it is that they're teaching is actually able to change the condition of our people. They don't have no proof to back up what they're talking about. See, it's easy to come on and get on here and talk. It's easy to teach the people from here, but when it's time to get up and go to the street, where is your works in the street? You can tell a tree by the fruit it bears. So if your tree is not bearing any good fruit, then you know the foundation in that tree is weak. So if the knowledge that you kicking on Instagram and the knowledge that you kicking on YouTube and the knowledge that you kicking in all these ciphers, if it's not producing no fruit, if you're not producing no schools, if you're not producing no farmland, if you're not producing an economic machine, if you're not producing a better diet to increase the health of our people, then what you teaching has not been validated. You understand? What you teaching is not validated because you have no work to prove what you saying is true. So what you giving us is theory. 2020, we don't have time for theory. So let's get on out the way. Let's make sure we tune in to the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, the Nation of Islam, and the good guidance. Get your Final Call newspaper. Tune in each and every Sunday because the mosque not open up right now. And what we doing is we trying to obey the laws of the land, but also we are taking divine guidance and hearing what the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan is guiding us to do through this time. Because what's next is famine. Famine is next. And if you Google, you can pull up the articles where they're talking about there's going to be a scarcity of food. There's not going to be food to come into the grocery store. So all you Walmart shoppers, all you Kroger shoppers, all you Food Lion shoppers, all you Wayfield shoppers, all you grocery store fanatics that are so used to going to the grocery store, you better go to the seed store, get you some seeds, start growing your own food. Get you some tomatoes, get you some eggplant, you understand? Get you some bell peppers. Learn how to start gardening. and start growing your own food, because famine is on the way. Find you a Muslim brother that can hook you up with some Navy beans. Get you some Navy beans. You can go to NOI.org, learn how to make the Navy bean soup. Because there's coming a time where you won't be able to go to the store and get no food. There's coming a time where it's going to be people that starve. There's people starving now. It's been people starving. But it's about to get increased now, because it's that time. So I'm here just to put this out. I'm here just to give some game so people can't say that they didn't know. The Honorable Minister Farrakhan has been warning us at this time that was coming, but we got to make sure that we still put it out there for the people so the blood is off our hands. See? And because the government is not telling you about this. Donald Trump is not telling you about this. What he's saying is that the country is stronger than ever and that we're going to be reopening states quicker and faster than ever. We have the most tests and we doing the most treatment and we have the most ventilators and we got the economy about to get revved back up and we about to make America great again. And that's sadly not the case. Sadly not the case. America's going down. But the way that the God works is every time he gets ready to destroy a nation, he doesn't destroy a nation while she's down. He destroys a nation while she's up, while she's peaking. He surprises that nation and takes that nation down. See? This all been written. It's all been written, family. So I want us to take heed. Let's take heed. Let's get good guidance. Let's making sure that we are taking care of ourselves. We're taking care of our families. And we are staying hip to what's going on. Because it's very, very important. Boosie mentioned the fact that they're not getting that show money. So now they got to hustle. They got to do other ways to make some money. Another thing that Boosie mentioned was the fact that he owns land. Bruh said his house is on 67 acres. 67 acres, family. We have to be on 67 acres. We have to be on some type of acreage because the Honorable Minister Farrakhan has taught us that our nationhood is built upon our land acquisition. We cannot be a nation and not have a land or a state or territory of our own. So if you cannot get in the mindset of acquiring land, you can't get in the mindset of doing for self. You can't get in the mindset of actually being able to establish yourself as a nation. See, when the Europeans came over here to America, the first thing they did was stole all the land. Because you can't move forward in building a nation without land. So they started taking land from the Native Americans. Like, nah, we ready to kill y'all and we gonna take this. This our land now. Boom. So then when they got land and they started getting industrious, you understand? They took us. They didn't put the Indian to work. The Indians like, no, we're not doing that. They took us, the Africans, and made us start tilling the land and building the land and industrializing the land for them. We got to do the same thing, but we got to do it in a righteous manner. We're not going to kidnap a whole people. We're not about to go commit a crime and build us a nation. But what we're going to do is we're going to do for self. We're going to put our bootstraps on and we're going to go ahead and do for self what we have done for everybody else, family. So this is the Campaign TV show. I am your host, Brother King Cam, and I appreciate you all for watching and listening. Appreciate y'all for taking the time to tapping in with your brother. Again, I'm gonna be doing a show each and every week, Campaign TV Show podcast. So I want y'all to check in, and again, thank you all for watching. Y'all have a blessed night. Assalamu alaikum.